I write these definitions down not because I just like doing it for fun, but because I see people not using these and it's causing great pain and heartache. So when I'm asked for the slope of something, right, the slope is a very simple ratio. It's how y's change, it's the change in the y divided by the change in the x values. And we always show change with a subtraction problem, right? If I look at what's I've got the number 7 and I go to 3. How did I change? Well, 7 minus 3 is 4. I decreased by 4, right? I can figure out the direction and the magnitude of those changes. So if I want to figure out the change in y and the change in x, I've got to look at the y's, right? And I've got to look at the x's. And when I look at those, I can figure out the change in the y and the change in the x's. So as I look at this, I'm going to take the y values off to the right and subtract the ones from the left. And honestly, it doesn't matter as long as you're consistent, right? As long as you do the same thing for both. So in my numerator, I'm going to write 12. Oops, get back up there. I'm going to write 12 minus 6. Okay. Now for my denominator, I now need to do the same thing for x's. So you can see I've got the negative 5 and the 10. So I'm going to take the one on the left and I'm going to subtract the one on the right. So I'm going to take 10 and then I'm going to subtract a negative 5. Now the reason why I like just writing, okay, it's a numerator over a denominator, it's at a difference for each. I like writing this first because then when I see that it's a 10 and I'm subtracting a negative 5, I get this double negative here and I'm aware of the fact that I'm subtracting negative 5. So in my numerator right now, 12 minus 6 is 6, and in my denominator, 10 minus negative 5 is 10 plus 5, which is 15. So I've got 6/15, and both of those have a factor of 3 in them, so I can write this as 3 times 2 over 3 times 5. And I know some of you don't need to do this. You can write it as a shortcut. I'm writing it because it prevents me from making an error. I see that I've got a 3 over 3. I'm verifying 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. I can see that I have a giant 1 in 3 over 3, and I'm left with an answer of 2/5. So the slope of a line that goes through those 2 points would have this pattern of up 2 over 5. It would be a positive slope up 2 units along y and then 5 units to the right along the x-axis.